The All Things TechIE podcast is a product of the Extreme Media Network. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie. That's XTREME media.ie.
Audio visual from an Irish perspective. This is the All Things TechIE podcast.
Hello again, it's Justin Dawson. It's the All Things TechIE podcast. We are in episode 27, listeners, and thank you for joining us once more. It's myself on my own this week, but I'm going to be joined by maybe some farmyard animals because I catch up with Nate from Sweet Farm, who's taking Zoom bombing and making a joke out of it because how would you like an animal to appear in your Zoom or goat to meeting, as he calls it? Well, they are a charity organisation that rescue farmyard animals, and we will be catching up with Nate later on in the programme. We have loads to discuss, including the Apple glasses and also the Infocom IC 2020 that goes virtual, and all your comments as well. If you'd like to get in contact with the program, here's how you do so. You can contact us by visiting our website, www.allthingstech.ie. You can also email comments at allthingstech.ie. My tweet handle is at Justin or Dawson. You can use the actual All Things TechIE podcast Twitter handle, which is AV Tech Junkies, and all the information is, of course, on our website, and you can subscribe there and on YouTube by visiting www.allthingstech.ie. Now, you might be following me on Twitter, and you will see that I finally got, after 2.5 months, listeners, I ordered this 2.5 months ago because I thought it was cool. I have a lot of keys that I carry around, both for work and for at home. And I noticed that, like, my wife hates that I hang my keys off a ring on my jeans like a janitor. She calls me a janitor. So I needed something smart and, of course, techie, because that's me in a nutshell. All things techie. So what I like about this is it comes, if I do the unboxing, here's the box. It actually has a small little tile inside it, which means that I can sync it up to my phone and also my Google Home. So I can say, hey Google, find my keys, and it will actually find my keys. This will start ringing. I'm going to just actually do it for the fun of it here.
Got it. Justin's keys was last seen today at 12:45 p.m. near home.
So it just said Justin's keys were found at 12:45 p.m. near home. And you can see that my keys would be found and it would make my keys ring. Now, the important thing is that you do have to charge the actual tile or the KeySmart. That's done with a little micro USB connection that comes in the side there. I'll just hold that up to camera as well. So if it's not charged, well, you're not going to be able to really locate your keys that well. So the important thing is to keep that charged. It has two little screws that you can open up by a little 2-cent piece or 5-cent piece. It has a couple of washers in it, and I got a little bottle opener on my one. You can buy small little knives, and it has also a light up the top, like so. But I just found that it was a bit finicky to try and get all my keys into place, because you're trying to put washers in between and also make the keys balance out nicely and fit comfortably in your pocket. Though it was worth the money, that's my toy for the week. Going into tech news, listeners, Apple Glass patent reveals killer feature for the mass appeal. Apple Glass could provide an ultimate prescription lens solution. It's the latest news. Is on pace to define the future with AR wearables, but its biggest obstacle upon launch will be the adoption and accessibility. The new patent glass suggests Apple could have a fix for that, though, that eliminates the need to wear prescription lenses beneath the augmented reality device. The patent proposes built-in optics that rectify vision issues like nearsightedness. So if this means that Apple Glass have made it so that it will go with prescription glasses, I think this is going to be a game changer. And it sort of takes it back everything that I've always said about VR glasses and people don't want to wear glasses. If this is going to go down design route and it's not going to look like swimming goggles, I can see this working. I can see this working. However, how long is a battery going to last in something like this? You know, like I'm talking about the KeySmart there, and I have to keep that charged. I'm talking about my smartwatch that I have to charge every day. Are you going to charge your glasses every day, or need to take your glasses off, or remember to charge your glasses at night, listeners, before you wear them the next morning going on your commute to work? That's the interesting question. I'd love to hear your comments on it. We're going to put the website up on the show notes on allthingstech.ie. So please do stay tuned for that. I see 2020 is only a fortnight away, listeners, and the schedule at a glance, it's nice to see that Infocom have thought about the fact that this is going to be a virtual Infocom. So we're going to do a lot of European shows as well as part of IC 2020, and in a time zone which actually suits the Irish person, because there is some things that they are doing which I go, I love to take part in that, and then go, oh, actually it's 2 o'clock in the morning in Ireland. So, and one of them being the trivia night at 8 to 9 p.m. EST, I believe, Eastern Time Zone is all the time. So 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the EMEA regional presentations each day, which actually work around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, lunchtime in Ireland, which works well for us. But they also are doing the 5K virtual race. And I've been toying around with this. Should I do a race? And I said, I can't run 5 kilometers. I don't think I'm fit enough to run 5 kilometers. But I might walk 5 kilometers, because I actually walk usually about 2 kilometers during my lunch break at home with my toddler to put her asleep. So I'm thinking, or my toddler or my baby to put them asleep. So I'm thinking, why not? So I think I will sign up to this, and I will have to do a podcast episode as I walk around my North County Dublin regions. We are allowed travel now, actually, listeners. We are allowed travel around the county of Dublin, or 20 kilometres outside if the borders of Dublin, if you live near the border. So I can pretty much travel all around Dublin. Just because we can doesn't mean I really want to, because I still think that like COVID-19 exists. There's going to be people that are going to become complacent and take risks and not wear face masks, and you see that in shopping malls and supermarkets here in Ireland. So, you know, wear face masks, wash your hands, and stay safe. Now, moving on to the main topic of today's podcast, I caught up with Nate. He is at Sweet Farm in sunny California, about 20 kilometers outside of San Francisco, and he brings goats to meetings. And it's Goat to Meeting. It's a charity organization. I talked with Nate earlier on. Have a listen to this. Zoom has taken over, and people talk about Zoom and security. Well, I say security would be funny if a goat appeared on your webinar or on your Zoom meeting. Nate's going to bring us a bit of information through this, because he set up a very clever, instead of Go to Meeting, Goat to Meeting. He works on Sweet Farm, and we're going to find out a bit more about what Sweet Farm is all about. Nate, welcome along to All Things Techie podcast over in California at the moment. A long time since I've been in sunny California, as I look out my window on a bit of a cloudy afternoon in Dublin, Ireland. How's there in California?
Oh yeah, well, thanks for first and foremost for having us on the podcast today. Yeah, it's a sunny day here on coastal California. We're about 45 minutes south of San Francisco, right along the Pacific Coastal Highway. just outside of a small town called Half Moon Bay. And just a little bit about Sweet Farm. Yeah, we are a nonprofit organization dedicated to creating a compassionate and sustainable world. So we're doing that through a combination of farm animal rescue, rehabilitation, and education programs around why these animals deserve way more respect than they traditionally get. We also have plant-based agriculture programs, so growing food and teaching people how to grow their own food. And then lastly, we have our technology initiatives, which help entrepreneurs start the next great, alternative protein or agriculture technology companies to really scale that change globally.
Okay, so I guess the first and foremost, how GoToMeeting came around was the fact that you are used to having a lot of school tours, and team building weekends, and probably people visiting the farm. And because of COVID-19, no one's visiting, which means like there's less income, there's probably less donations going on as well, Nate. So
Yep.
this is where the whole idea of like, well, let's bring some farmyard animals into the mix and bring it virtually. So, but it's really taken off, I hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, March 25th, we had an emergency board meeting to figure out how we are going to, continue to execute on our mission, which is, educating and inspiring, people, corporations, politicians, people of all, of all ages, while also, supporting those programs. So traditionally we would have companies coming out and volunteering, and they would pay for that experience, and also get their hands in the soil, and that would help offset the cost for schools to come out and do the same thing at no cost. When COVID-19 came about, all of that went out the window, and with it went all of the revenue streams to help support all of those programs. So one of our board members, John Azoff, he's a tech guy. He spends all of his days in GoToMeeting calls, and he said, I would totally pay $100 to have one of these animals, one of the animals at Sweet Farm show up to my happy hour or my meeting, even for 10 minutes, and y'all could tell us a little bit about them. And I think it could be a thing. So we took the same idea of accessibility into this new program, and to date we've had I think we just crossed about 3,000 meetings successfully completed and over 5,000 booked.
Wow, that's insane, and a great way of just bringing back in the income. So you do meetings from small size, and I think in our notes that you told me yesterday, you've had a call with nearly 3,700 people, like 3,700 people. Yeah,
exactly. I would say on average we probably have in the 40 to 60 people range per call. Already, we were over 100,000 people that we've talked to on a one-on-one basis, and brought them out to the farm and to see and meet these animals. But yeah, we've had several that are, over 1,000 people, a couple over 3,000. And every day it seems like we have at least one that's, in the 400 to 500 person range.
Now you say with that length of a waiting list of virtual calls, is this getting in the way of doing the normal farmyard activities?
Well, fortunately, we have an incredible team out here at Sweet Farm. So we have a great team of educators and animal care professionals who really just do a bang up job. And so a lot of, good time management and that kind of thing comes into play. But then we also have our partner sanctuaries that we work with to help scale the demand. So we have over 10 sanctuaries that are helping to handle a lot of these meetings, and it's generating revenue that those amazing organizations need as well.
So how many animals would you have actually on the farm then? Like, are we seeing the same goat in every GoToMeeting, or are we
Right.
animals?
Yeah, so we have over 125 different rescue animals out here at Sweet Farm. Each one has their own individual story, background, needs, healthcare, and emotional needs as well. Because they've come from everything from abandonment, abuse, factory farming, illegal rooster fighting operations. So in 10 to 30 minutes, there's not nearly enough time to meet all of those animals. So we mix it up. We take a walk around the farm, and from meeting to meeting, it's a different animal on different calls.
How far would you go across? Like, I'm guessing, would you go across just California, or would you be getting animals from outside the state?
Animals come from all over. Tomorrow, actually, we have two pigs that came out of a laboratory testing situation. As well as two more llamas, rescue llamas, arriving, and they're coming from Southern California.
What's been the main demand when people call up and arrange a meeting? Do they want to see the llamas? Do they want to see goats? Or can they pick? Can they pick? Or is it the fact that you'd say, right, well, these animals are available today?
Yeah. So typically, people are asking for the goats, sometimes pigs, and then there's a lot of requests for the llamas. But this is a sanctuary; it's not a petting zoo. So sometimes Paco the llama doesn't feel like saying hi. So if they don't want to, they don't have to. Their job is only to live their best life out here at Sweet Farm. And it's nice because this program, it's a way for us to respectfully be one-on-one with the animals. The animal doesn't know there's 3,000 people on the other end of the line.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me, a camera, or a team member and a camera, and the goat or the llama or whoever.
Now, I have to ask this question because, like, I've done a lot of outdoor reports as well with microphones, and they say don't work with kids or animals. How many times has it come near to the fact that that it's about to eat your microphone or eat your camera?
Well, fortunately, no one has eaten the camera or anything like that yet. But we definitely have, on a lot of the calls, the turkeys will peck at the camera, they'll do that kind of number and peck at the camera, or the cows will give a big kiss to the phone. So after each call, we're having to clean off the camera to make sure it's has a clear picture for the next group.
Now, how big is the farm? I have to ask. Like, I know a couple of, I'd say farms. What we would call a big farm, it'd be like a mini ranch to you, over in California for the size of the state. How big is the farm?
Yeah, so ours is actually quite small. In comparison to some of the big farms, but we're about 12 and a half acres, which is
Okay.
I think 5 to 6 hectares.
Yeah, it's an average size farm, yeah. And
yeah.
So what's the most unusual animals that you have?
Oh man, unusual. We have a chicken that is completely black, like her skin is black. Inside, like her muscles are black. It's a specific breed of chicken that oftentimes they're exploited because of this like very interesting genetic trait. So she's quite interesting. I call her Pantera, but her name is Raptor because she kind of behaves like a dinosaur. And then our pigs are really unique. We have 2 Hungarian woolly pigs named Piggy Sue and Piggy Smalls, and they are they look like they're shaped like pigs, but they have wool like a sheep. Like, I mean, it looks like a sheep.
I think you guys have to start putting all the photos of all the profiles of all your animals up on Sweet Farm's website. I think that would
Right.
be really cool. Or what's next? They're going to have all their own social media channels.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Paco the llama and Magnolia the dwarf cow, they already have their own Cameo channels. If you know what the tool Cameo is to book like celebrity talent, they're already doing celebrity talent photo shoots.
Oh wow! Okay, I spoke too soon. The head of me, and the head of humans. Is there any final message you want to give out now? I think this is absolutely a fantastic idea because you are a charity and because like you're not jumping on the cash cow of what Zoom is. That I've seen with all different backgrounds of Zoom. People are trying to charge to teach people how to use Zoom. That's even crazy when there's how-to guide. But for a farm like yourself, I just think this is a wonderful idea to actually bring back in some revenue towards something that is a profit organization. Rescuing animals, it's fantastic. Like you just mentioned that rescuing animals from laboratory, like sorry, this is a personal question. How do you come about people ring you up and just saying, I think we need to rescue two animals that have been used in laboratories? Like, is there legal implications, or is it just the fact that these are retired animals? How does it come about that you rescue them?
Yeah, so it happens a ton of different ways. So sometimes there's sometimes there's an animal that will actually end up in like animal control or the authorities' care because they either shut down an illegal rooster fighting operation, for instance. And then it's like in the authorities' hands to figure that, what do you do with these chickens? So we work with them oftentimes across species to find homes. And sometimes they're here. Sometimes it's through our network of other sanctuaries around. So,
Okay, so
that's I would say one of the main areas. And then there's also other rescue networks that sometimes they work with, farms to take out retired animals rather than the farmer putting them down. They'll actually take them and find homes at different sanctuaries. So we've actually done that ourselves. The two woolly pigs that we got a call from the family that had been breeding them on their small plot of land, and they had 13 or 12 pigs actually at the time. And this family fell in love with them. They realized how smart they are, how amazing pigs actually are, and they couldn't bear to send them to slaughter. So they reached out to us not knowing what to do. So we went in. Two of them now live here, but we found homes for all of the other ones at other sanctuaries.
That's so super. So if people want to find out how to do a virtual call with some of your animals, where do they go?
Yeah, so you can visit us at sweetfarm.org. All the information is right there. Plenty of different ways that you can have us join your calls of different sizes, whether it's your family and friends or your company of all sizes. Check us out at sweetfarm.org.
Thank you so much for doing this, Nate. I wish you well on this project. I see this going on even after COVID-19. I believe that there's going to be so many. What you say before we go? You say that you've got that many calls, that many waiting lists. Am I the furthest in Ireland that's done a call with you, or have you done international calls?
We've done international calls. We've done some in the UK. We've had people from Singapore and Japan call in. So it goes all different directions. There was a school a bilingual school in Russia that was working on setting up a call as well. So time zones, there's time zone Tetris we have to play as well, because obviously we can't have a call in the middle of the night. The animals are sleeping. So there's limits to what we can do, but we do what we can.
Sweetfarm.org, the goat to meetings. Thank you so much, Nate, for joining us, and I wish you well with the project.
Thank you so much for having us, and stay healthy and safe, everyone.
Cheers. Well, that's all from Nate. That's all from myself, Justin Dawson. Simon hopefully will be back with me again soon. Don't forget, we publish a weekly podcast now, and I know I'm a bit late on this weekly podcast. People are commenting already saying, was it because it was your 37th birthday and you were recovering? Well, I'll use that as an excuse and I'll stick to it. So for episode 27 of the All Things Techie podcast, I want to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe on your favorite podcast app. It really means a lot to us. And you can visit us on our website for any of our previous episodes and podcasts where we talk tech by visiting www.allthingstech.ie. You can send in comments to comments@allthingstech.ie. And if you would like to be even a co-host or a guest on the show, we would love to have you talking tech with us. From me, Justin Dawson, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in episode 28. Goodbye.
The All Things Techie podcast is a product of the Extreme Media Network. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie. That's XTREME media.ie.